continuing my series on getting my license in Japan while I'm getting used to riding on the mean streets of Saitama. By lesson 3 we were into third gear and changing down to second approaching corners. I did okay. I found that I really needed to concentrate to hear the instructor over the noise of all the bikes, to understand what he said, and then to actually do it. They are really good about repeating, asking us if we understand, and showing us what we have to do. They also watch closely and give feedback, zipping up and down the course to reach us when we were in different areas. The 4th lesson was on the simulator. There's a replica bike with all the controls hooked up to a big screen, kind of like the MotoGP arcade game but with graphics like Virtua Racing. The aim is to get you to understand the dangers of cornering at speed, judging blind corners and road awareness. Since we don't ever go on public roads, this is the alternative. We also practiced emergency stops, which I was terrible at. The guy in the same lesson was pretty friendly and did much better at the emergency stop than me. All the drivers, cyclists and pedestrians in the city have a death wish and do all kinds of crazy stuff at the worst possible moment. I like the way they mix up different methods of teaching you skills that you'll need once you pass the test. I can see how some people would feel the simulation lessons were a pain in the arse though. Lesson 4 was the balance beam. It was a rainy day but the course is under a flyover so it didn't really affect the lesson too much, just on the approach which was on a slight curve. I messed up the balance beam the first couple of times, but soon got the hang of it. You need to show good clutch control and do it in around 7 seconds or more, which is the requirement for the test. I think I did pretty well that day. I stalled once trying to set off with my foot on the rear brake. It's funny how you do these silly things, and I did quite a few things like this. I did 2 lessons on the same day more than 4 hours apart. I just stayed in the study room and made good use of the time. Lesson 5 was the slalom. I was pretty nervous before this lesson so I watched a few videos talking about how to approach it. I really liked the slalom videos from Muscle Bike Channel and Skinoa Driving School. I think they helped as it wasn't as difficult as I thought. Not that I found it easy, but I didn't hit any of the cones or drop the bike, which as a beginner is always a good thing. The course was pretty crowded at the time, so it was hard to get a real sense of how well I was doing. You meant to do it in under 8 seconds, but with people in front, I tended to slow down. Somehow, I put the bike in neutral while I was doing it a few times. One run was very smooth, so I didn't think it would be a sticking point. We also did the figure 8 and the crank, which were really no trouble as there's no time limit and no real rules on technique, other than avoiding using the front brake and keeping it in second. I ran with 2 other people I'd seen before, one guy who did the simulator with me the day before, who it turns out was the same age as me. Of course, most of the students are really young, but there are some older people doing the large bike course for bikes above 400cc. I had quite a long gap before the next lessons as we were now into Golden Week at the end of April and the beginning of May, when most places close. It was also getting pretty warm.